Another day, another New York lawmaker accused of breaking the law himself. The U.S. Attorney's Office has filed charges against Assemblyman Eric Stevenson, claiming he took cash in exchange for his influence as an elected official. The allegations are now leading to the resignation of another assemblyman who helped police. Capitol correspondent Pat Bailey is in our Albany bureau to break it all down for us. Pat, this is becoming a daily routine.
It seems like it is here, Liz, in Albany. That's right. We're talking about two assemblymen here. Now, one is named. That is Eric Stevenson of the Bronx, as you mentioned. Now, he is charged with taking money and expediting the opening of an adult daycare center and trying to keep the competition out of his district. Now, the other is an unnamed assemblyman who was initially involved in the alleged scheme, but later worked with the U.S. Attorney's Office to help them on their investigation. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office complaint, Assemblyman Stevenson took cash in exchange for expediting the opening of an adult daycare center and drafting legislation to put a moratorium on future daycare developments in hopes to keep the competition out of the Bronx. The complaint also states that Stevenson expedited the construction of a gas line to the facility through his, quote, contact at Con Ed so it could open sooner. The complaint alleges tens of thousands of dollars in cash was given to Stevenson in exchange for his influence as an assemblyman. That second, unnamed assemblyman was initially involved in this alleged scheme, according to the document. However, the report later says that he worked with the U.S. Attorney's Office as a, quote, cooperating witness. In exchange for his work, the unnamed assemblyman, known in the report as Assemblyman Number 1, struck a deal where he will not be prosecuted, but he must resign his position as a New York State Assembly member. A New York Times reporter, just before we went on there, maybe about 15 minutes ago, put on his Twitter feed that the unnamed, that second unnamed Assembly member is Nelson Castro, also of the Bronx. A staff member at Castro's Albany office said to me earlier today, quote, "I cannot confirm or deny that report." A staff member in Castro's Bronx office told me on the phone earlier today the assemblyman will be putting out a statement, quote, shortly. Assemblyman Stevenson's office said they have no comment on the matter, Liz.
Well, it strikes me if he was going to have to resign, we were going to figure this out sooner or later. Is that right?
Well, one would assume, yes, that he is going to resign. Now, the interesting thing is about Nelson Castro, and a lot of people are throwing his name out there in the New York Times reporting it. He also represents a portion of the Bronx. Now, this report is very scathing. It's 38 pages long. The question is, now, how much money changed hands? And I was reading through the report earlier before we went on the air, and I got through about halfway. I got about halfway through, and I counted up about $20,000 to $30,000 in cash allegedly changing hands here. So that's something we'll continue to follow. The U.S. Attorney's Office is holding a press conference as we speak, and we will continue to have more on this, of course, as it develops later on throughout the day.
Yes, I think at this point, the residents of the state have got it. Their eyes have just got to be wide open when we keep hearing about these cases. But we'll see where this one goes.
That's right. It comes one day after or 2 days after the alleged Malcolm Smith bribery case, and then we just did a story yesterday on the faith of the public in state government.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Pat. We'll be following it, and I know you'll follow it for us.
All right.